Heading into the 2026 NFL Draft, I almost guarantee that your favorite team has a big-time need. But today, we're going to rank every position in the draft and find out which one has the most talent. Folks, as we mentioned before, we are tier listing every single position in the 2026 NFL Draft. Every one of us has watched about 150 plus prospects. It's actually kind of ridiculous. So we're going to give our thoughts on where the strengths are of this class and also the weaknesses, and give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, depending on the tier. Folks, you ready? You ready to go?
Let's
100%.
do this.
Let's get it.
Let's do this. Let's start with the defensive edge position, all right? On the count of 3, you're going to give me a 5 to 1. 5 means elite, 1 means D tier, and I'll announce which one. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. We got 2 5s and a 2 for the edge position. Interesting.
2.
You
Yeah,
hate
I
good
got it.
players.
Whoa. I
You
got to
hate good players.
You start this one
You got
off.
some explaining to do, bro. Yes.
This might be the
Yeah.
deepest position board of the class.
Of the entire draft.
I have 12 edge rushers in my top 100.
I hear you.
Go ahead. No, continue. We'll let you speak.
I think 3 might have been more reasonable, but if I'm going to defend 2 because I went for 2, I think at the top end of the draft, we don't have the elite talent we usually see. When you look at a draft, you see freak athletes that reside in the edge position. We don't have that this year that are also good players. We have a Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk is not a refined player. We have Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain apparently has T-Rex arms, still going to be a great player, but he's not the prototypical edge rusher. So I don't see how you can give a position of 5 when we don't have elite or generational talent. None of these guys, because if they were that good, they are auto going in the top 3, but that's not the case. So that's my case, but I want to hear y'all.
Go ahead, Metro.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many
Go ahead.
elite players are in this class in general?
I have 5 to 6. I have 6 elite players in this draft.
I think when we're thinking of blue chip prospects this year, it's Love, Downs, and that's it to me. Of like potentially generational talents, because I don't think Mendoza's generational, and we'll get to him in a second. Tyson is a ton of question marks. I don't think Tate is this generational talent. I think edge is probably the closest position to being of that level. So, like, yeah, this class doesn't have a Myles Garrett, or it doesn't have a Trevon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson conversation, but it does have probably 4 or 5 guys that could be round 1 players, 5 to 6 guys that could be day 2 players, and it's going to be probably the position that's one of the most drafted total by the end of this draft. So I think in terms from a depth perspective, it's probably one of the better classes for sure.
That's why I gave it a 5. Just off the depth alone. Like, when you talk about those other draft class, they were just top heavy. Like, it's one guy here, then it's a bunch of guys who are possibles, just, maybes. You got Bain, Belly, Height, Howell, Joseph, Young, Parker. Like, it's a long list, and then there are so many different body types and prototypes within those groups. Like, they don't have to be these supremely great athletes. Like, again, those guys don't always pan out. A couple of them do. A lot of them don't. But, like, you talk about just good football players, I think the edge class has, like, top to bottom. If you take the top 25 prospects of every position, they're better players in the edge group than a lot of other groups. That's why I gave them 5. Just, like, it's so deep. 3, 4, 4, 3, doesn't matter.
That's fair. I get the deep argument.
2 is disrespectful to Ruben Bain, David Bailey.
Yeah, you also can't compare this class to like the high-end
Myles
classes.
Garrett and
Well, that's
Von
a
Miller.
5, folks. What is a 5?
No.
That's not a 5.
But we're putting the
class?
context that
no,
it's
not the
within
class. I'm
this
sorry,
class.
but that kind of player, that's a 5. We're talking elite. If there's no elite
Bain?
player.
Bain would be a 5 in this class. You put Bain in like the 2021 draft, he's not a 5. But in this draft, he's a 5.
Okay.
You just have to add the context of what the draft class in general is like this year. There's a lot of great players in this draft class, but again, I only have 2 blue chip guys. Last year, I think we had 5 or 6. This year, it's just maybe 2. So when you add kind of that little extra layer of context, it makes this position that much more impressive.
So you're saying compared to all their positions just in this draft, not comparing any other draft?
I'm not looking at other drafts. I'm looking at just this draft class.
Okay. That's
this
different.
is the best position room.
I'm going to be honest. I thought we were comparing to past drafts.
No, I'm not looking
Even
at
if I look at the
if that's the case, everything will be
2021
2-1.
if I look at the 2021 draft and look at the edge group, the first edge guy went at pick 18. Jalen
Well,
Phillips.
I'm saying for 2021,
But,
I'm
so,
looking at
like-
the class in general. How good
Okay,
it was.
but-
Quarterbacks and running backs, things like that.
Yeah, well, that class wasn't that good. It was presumed to be that good. Trey Lance, bum. Zach Wilson, bum.
I might be
Kyle
thinking of
Pitts,
2020.
bum. Like,
I see your
Ruben
point.
Bain's still a top 10 pick in that class.
Yeah. I'm with
Okay.
you. Hey, I give it a 5. I'm with you. I'm not
It
disagreeing.
seems
No.
like we missed the, or I missed the diagnosis. We're ranking in just this draft, not comparing to others. And if that's the case, I would go towards a 4 rather than a 5. But if we feel 5, I get it. I'll go there.
If we put, see, I was thinking 4 too, but I was like, if we don't put this at 5, there will not be a 5.
There aren't any 5s. Exactly.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this one
fair.
for me would be a 5.
Cool. Edge gets to 5. Clearly, we're basing it off different things. Let's go to running back on the board. Folks, I hope we don't have a big disagreement this time like last time. Don't mean to ruffle some feathers. Here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got a 2 and a 1, and Metro's got some balloons.
And I got
as
some balloons
well.
here too. Yep. I got to turn that
Peace
feature
sign.
off.
Just because Jeremiah Love is so nice, I'll knock it up to C tier, aka 2, if that's okay. I think there's some good running backs on day 2 besides that. But folks, the floor is yours, B. Ross. Why do you feel this team, not this team, but this position is a C tier?
Well, one, running back classes are never going to be high. Like, this isn't the 90s. In the 90s, you can have 5 backs picked in the first round because they all had 1,500 yard plus and 20 touch. Like, that was the thing. Now, that's not the case. So, Jeremiah Love is exactly what you talked about. Talent, athleticism, blue chip player. He's a 5 by himself. So, I can't put the entire class because he's so good. Like, he's so good, is no one else going in the first round as far as backs. I don't think so, at least. Like, I would bet a lot of money to say he would be the only back taken. That's why I had to go 2. But with that, this class isn't bad. It's just they are going to need time to prove why they're good. This isn't like, the years where it was Fournette and Zeke and all those guys where you knew day one they're workhorses. Like, these dudes will work into whatever role for their team and be good players. Handful of guys. But it's just not. It's Jeremiah Love, and then it's a big drop off. But I can't give him a 1 because Jeremiah Love is so good. He's the best player. He's the top player on my board. If you're the top player in a weak class, but you're like dominant the way he is, minimum C.
Yeah, I also agree with you with this tier as well. This class reminds me of the running back class. It's better than the one where it was just Jonathan Brooks, who I think was the first running back that came off the board. I want to say that was 2023.
That was 23.
But this year,
Yeah.
this class has that one very elite guy who, on my big board, is my number 1 ranked player. The next one, though, is at 49, and I have, I think, 6 running backs in my top 100. So this is one of those classes where it's like there's one really good player. There's a couple solid ones. Realistically, in this class, day 1 starters, you're looking at maybe 4 max, and I think that's a push, right? Love's a day 1 starter. I think Coleman could be a starter depending on the situation. Price, Johnson, Katron Allen, we'll have to wait and see what the situations look like. So I can't go anywhere higher than a C tier. Jeremiah Love pushes it from that D to that C because he's so good, and he's going to be a potential Pro Bowl, All-Pro player. But I think there's only one day 1 pick, and I think there's maybe 4, maybe 5 day 2 picks. I think a lot of them will go on day 3.
Cool. I got nothing to say. I completely agree. Jeremiah Love is like that. Let's put him at C tier here for the running backs. Next on deck, we got the tight ends, folks. Here we go. On the count of 3, show me a number. 1, 2, and 3. We got a 3 from B. Ross, a 3 from Metro, and a 2 from myself. Man, I'm negative today. What the hell is this? I'm going to throw it to Metro to start this one instead. Metro, tell me about this tight end class and why I have him ranked here at 3, a.k.a. the B tier.
I thought about maybe moving it to 4, but I think me and B-Ross are kind of in the same boat here. I'm just not the highest on Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's a good talent, has a ton of upside, but I am, maybe this is just more of like what I prefer, but I prefer big body, physical guys that can get downhill and block a little bit. I don't know if Sadiq is quite that. He's more of a, put him in the slot, let him work in open space, that kind of guy. I just don't love those tight ends. But with that said, there is like a ton of variety in this tight end class in terms of like different sizes, different skill sets. In fact, I think maybe the one thing this class is really missing is that like full, well-rounded guy. But there's a number of different guys you can have play different roles, right? Like Eli Stowers, you want a pure receiving threat who can play on the slot, move him around, sure. Kenyon Sadiq, we talked about him. Max Clare is probably of the upper echelon guys, your most well-rounded player. Same with like a Jack Andrews, but those were going to be more of like what is Jack's upside. I think Max is a very high ceiling, but like Michael Trigg, give the ball a guy, give this guy an opportunity to make a play. He might make some here and there. Justin Jolie, a lot of productivity. It's a very deep class too, where there's a number of serviceable guys that could play. Like I think Daquan Wright could be a serviceable second option for some teams, and he's probably somewhere like the 150s, 160s. On my big board, he sits at 141. So I think this class is very deep. Tight end's a position where you're not going to get a ton of volume, but I think this class, rather than other classes, actually has a decent bit of volume here. I can't give it a 4 because I don't think there's that super high-end guy, but I think there's a number of really good prospects.
I'm right there with you, Metro. Like, I see good players, and I see, like, probably out of my top 10 tight ends, I think 4 of them are going to be really, really good. Again, it's just going to take time. And if I'm talking right now, like, overall, like, the classes will be, to your point, Sadiq is athletic, supremely athletic, and he looks the part. Like, he's going to look so good at the combine. But when you put on pads and turn on the tape, and you, like the physicality of the game is still a factor that I just can't, it's certain things he's done that I can't unsee. But overall, the class, like, you have so many different styles, body types, frames, abilities that I think putting them as a group right in the middle just kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Because they're not, again, like, they're not special. Like, there aren't any TJ Hawkinsons. No offense in this class, like when those were the top 2 guys coming out. Kenyon Sadiq isn't Kyle Pitts. He isn't 6'5" and 250 and runs like he isn't that either. But overall, when you look at the top 10, like, solid groups, but their overall potential, a lot of those guys won't show until 2-3 years down the line because they have a lot of work to do because the NFL is more so about physicality than it is just running. But good group.
Very true. I like the statement that the tight end group is kind of the par. They set the base for the tone of this class. So I agree. Let's put them at B tier right here, number 3 on the list. Next week up, we got left tackle, or just all tackles in general on the offensive line. Folks, you ready to rank this group?
Yeah, this was tough.
I think so.
Okay,
I am.
I'm excited for this one. This is going to be interesting.
I have 5 numbers in my head.
Me too.
Cool.
Me too.
Let's cook. In 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of change there. Hold your ground, Metro. Hold your ground.
No, it was like 3.5, and I leaned towards 3.
Okay. Metro goes 3. B. Ross, you went 1, correct?
Yeah.
I went 1 as well.
Wow, that's harsh.
Folks, do you care if I open this one up? Because I got strong opinions here.
Go ahead. I'm
Oh,
intrigued.
yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I would take any first-round tackle from last year's class over a tackle from this year's class. I get why Fano's going to be drafted so high this year. I get why Lomu's going to go. I even get why Francis Mauigoa is going to go. I understand. Like, tackles they need, it needs to be filled. But when it comes to the prospect and how good they are, I just listen. They can kick my ass with like one hand, but they just, when it comes to overall talent, I don't see it this year, man. I don't see the athlete you typically do in the first round. I don't see the film you typically do in the first round. Fair. If I'm a tackle needy team, I'm kicking myself in this draft, and Jermaine Illuminor is going to get paid. Is all I'm going to say.
B-Rosh, you want to go as well?
No, I mean, I don't have too much to add. Like, I don't see to Cade's first point about the edge rushers, I don't see the top heavy talent. Like, they're up there because they're tackles. If it was a safety group, or if that was the running back position and like it was just mid, no one would go first round. But they go first round because tackles are a premium position. Tackles, edge rushers, corners, will always be premium positions. You will always see one go in the first round, just because it's just a need. And like those guys are talented, but we're talking about Fano, Noah probably being better guards. You know, that within itself lets me know that the tackle class isn't good. And I've done enough mock drafts with you by myself to know that after the second round, it is hard picking a tackle. It is. You're looking like, oh, I wouldn't take him here. Then you get to the fourth, and it's like, I definitely wouldn't take him here, because now you're picking from guys ranked 150 to 300. So it lacks top end talent and it lacks depth. Honestly, that's why I had to give it a 1.
So I'm not mad that you guys picked 1. I think it's a little harsh. 2, I think is a bit more reasonable. Look, to Kate's point, I don't disagree that I think Banks, Will Campbell, both go much higher on my board. If they were in this class, they might be inside my top 5. In fact, they would be inside my top 5. But I think Spencer Fano would have been a first-round pick last year. And I think Francis would be pushed in there as well. I think Francis. So I made it my mission this week. I watched 30 offensive tackles the past 3 weeks. Ooh. So 10 a week. I've been on the grind.
That's nasty work.
Some of them suck. In fact, a lot of them suck. But the top-end talent in this class, I think, is not bad. I like Spencer Fano. If you take him in the top 10, I'm okay with that. Francis Mauigoa, I'm kind of in the similar boat to Fano. I think Fano is a better pure tackle. I think Francis might be a better pure offensive lineman because I think he can play guard as well. There's a drop-off, though. When you get to that third tackle, there might not be a third tackle in this draft that gets drafted round 1. But there's 2 guys that will be drafted round 1. So I can't put it in tier 1 because tier 1 to me is like, there's not one I take in round 1 unless I absolutely have to. This year, I think Fano is a serviceable tackle. Like, I think he's a good tackle prospect. He's not Penei Sewell. He's not Banks or Will Campbell, but he's good. And then Francis, I think, is going to be a starting offensive lineman somewhere. And then Caleb Lomu has a ton of talent. Caden Proctor has a ton of talent. Jennings Dunker, I think, is more of a guard, so we'll have that conversation in a second. And there's a number of tackles that might just end up being guards, so we'll have that conversation then. But like Blake Miller is a decent prospect. You know, he's more of a day 2 option, so I can't give it a 1. You know, I think maybe I was reaching a little bit on the 4. I think 3 to 2 makes a bit more sense for this class because there is some better talents compared to other classes or compared to other positions.
What you just said is why I was stuck on 1, because a lot of those tackles are going to end up being guards.
But at the same time, you could also make the argument of like they can play guard, but in a pinch they might also play tackle as well.
Yeah, but if you're saying that he's going to be a better guard than tackle, then he's not a good tackle. Therefore, the tackle class is weak.
But he can play tackle.
I mean, I can walk back
like
and chew
Spencer
gum,
Fano. Spencer Fano is a really good tackle to me.
Yeah,
he's the best pure tackle, but I think Francis can play tackle too. I'm saying I prefer him at guard, but if he sticks at, it's like I preferred Will Campbell at guard. He's a pretty good left tackle. I prefer Francis at guard as well, but if he sticks at right tackle, wouldn't surprise me. But I do agree with you. Like after those 2, it's not great. It's not great, but I can't give it a tier 1. I think that's rather harsh to me.
You want to put him at 2?
I'm fine with 2. Yeah, I'm fine with 2.
Put him
above
in the
or below running back. Nobody's like
question.
Jeremiah Love. I'm going to go after.
Oh,
okay.
After.
Yeah, after's fine.
Cool. Tackles fall in the C tier behind the running backs. Next up, we got the guards. Do we just want to do all interior, or do we want to do guards and centers?
We'll make it quick. Yeah, I think we could do both.
Cool. Let's start with the guard position. Folks, let's get ready to rank them again. In 1, 2, and a 3. We got a 4 from Metro, a 3 from B. Ross, and a 2 from myself. This one's very interesting, okay? I yapped last time. B. Ross followed that. So, Metro, how about you open this one up?
Guard is a tough position. Usually, you don't see a ton of guards going round one. But this year, I could see two going. And then because we had the conversation about there's some tackles that could play guard. You have to consider that as well. I just think, like, how many great guard classes are there? Like, you might have a year where there's, like, that Zach Martin out there or the Quentin Nelson, but, like, that's very rare. You don't see those very often. Usually it's like, oh, we have a top tackle guards, we'll see there, who might flex inside. This year, it's like, I think Vivek Ione is really solid. I think he's a quality starting guard. I think Emmanuel Pregnon's good. I think Brian Parker has talent. I think Jennings Dunker is probably a guard. Again, if you consider Francis Malianoa a guard, that makes this class that much better. So that's why I put it in 4, just because there's some tackles that might end up, kind of lapsing over into the guard category as well for me. So it's not like elite, but for this class, I think there's actually a decent amount of them that I think can go top 100.
B. Ross, I'll let you follow that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just, like, I gave him a 3 because I know one is going in the first round. One.
Sure. Yeah.
Possibility.
One's guaranteed, yeah.
One's guaranteed to go in the first round. With Pregnon being a strong possibility to go in the first because I truly think some teams are going to fall in love with him, need an old lineman, don't want him to fall or, get to a certain team and take them at the end of the first. So I can see 2, but I know one is going. So with that, I'm like, you know what? That's great for interior play because that doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin, like that's not common at all to have a guard go in the first round. Even late in the first, it's just not common. But with that being said, when you look at it again, if you include the tackles, I'm with you, Metro. Then this probably is a 4. But if you just go the guys who play the majority of their snaps at guard, in college, like talent wise, depth wise, I can't go higher than 3 just because after probably your first 5 to 7, if you're looking at late day 2, early day 3, the board gets really thin at that position. It gets really thin because the talent drop off again is just so big. But I can see a 4, and I can also see Cade as a 2 just because I don't like. It's just not as good as you would want. Now, if it were 2 surefire first rounders and like 2 possibles, I can see it. But just with one guy and then a bunch of things have to go right, I can see why you said 2. I can see why you said 4. So that's why I just right in the middle, 3.
Yeah, I like 3.
I like Metro's take, especially on there's actually probably going to be 2 first rounders this year. That doesn't always happen. So let's land at 3. Do we go over tight end or under tight end?
That's a great question. I'd go over because there's definitely going to be more guards drafted round 1 than tight ends. Unless Max Clare just rises dramatically, which could happen. I think he's a stud.
Out of nowhere. I'd love it. You cool with that, B. Ross? We go over tight end?
Yep.
Cool. Good stuff. Let's go to center, everyone's favorite position, in 3, 2, and a 1. 1, and a 2 from myself. I got nothing to argue here. I like Logan Jones. That's why I'm bumping it up to 2, obviously. And,
you dropped him number 1, man. Golly.
Yeah, I'll take him first overall. I'm going to stop. Y'all have heard enough about Logan Jones for me. So that's my reason I got it at 2. I think there's about 2 real centers in this draft. You could say Parker Brailsford as well. I think he's pretty dang good. I know he's a light, but I like how he plays. What do y'all think, though?
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing: the number 1 corner is Connor Liu. Connor Liu played like 5 games this year and tore his ACL. There's not a round 1 guy unless someone really reaches. Slaughter's your probably center 2. Maybe he's your center 1. He's okay. He's a good player. He's not a transcendent talent. Pat Coogan's a day 3 guy. Logan Jones probably a day 3 guy. Parker Brailsford, a day 3 guy. If he was a bit bigger, he might go higher. But, yeah, this is – I mean, you're hoping that maybe some of these guards can play center. But, yeah, this is, to me, one of the weaker positions because there's not a day 1 guy, and there might not even be a round 2 guy in this class. Although I'm sure there will be at least 1.
I don't know. Like, you don't have to take a center high unless you, like,
exactly.
really like the guy. Like, I remember when Creed Humphrey came out, I loved him. And second round, I'm like, you take Creed. Athletic. He's not the biggest guy, but most centers aren't. But he's strong. So, but to your point, when you look at this class, it's just like Connor Lew, if like he's won and he missed the majority of the season. That tells you how weak the class is because no one jumped him. No one proved with more games and more tape that they could be better than the presumed number one center. So, and truthfully, I could see the first center going off the board the end of day two. To your point, like the first 60 picks are no centers. I could see that.
I could see that too, honestly.
I had to go one.
That being said, I'm aligned. One it is for the center position. They hold down the D tier by themselves. Now, who takes a snap from the center? If you know football at all, that's going to be the quarterback. They're next up on this list. And folks, hope you're ready. It's time to rank these QBs in 3, 2, and 1. We got a 1 from B. Ross, a 2 from
More
Metro,
balloons.
and a 2 from myself. I love the balloons, man. They make my day. B. Ross, you were the odd man out with 1. So please break down your thoughts on this quarterback class.
If your team didn't need a quarterback, you wouldn't take any of these quarterbacks.
Whoa,
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Fernando goes
Fernando?
round 1.
No.
He's not the number 1 pick if you don't need a quarterback, but
Yeah.
he'd be a round
Is
1 guy.
is he a top 5 player in this draft?
No. Quarterbacks rarely ever are, if I might add that.
Yeah,
Not true.
Probably not based off pure talent, but like in terms of like
Cam Ward, he was pure talent.
he wasn't.
Was
in
it
my-
top 5?
I think Cam's better than Fernando. I'm with you there.
Right.
I
but
agree, but it's not like a canyon-sized hole between the two. It's like, yeah, he's better.
Talent-wise, I think it is. Talent-wise, I
I
think it
disagree.
is.
I disagree.
Because it's things Cam Ward does that Fernando can't do, just physically. Just God gave him certain stuff. But no,
I have one. You know one thing you can't do:
Beto.
what?
win a national championship.
I mean, if
I mean,
he
his
had Kurt
ex-team might
Signetti,
tonight.
his ex team might because they got better. If he had Malachi Tony and not Restrepo, the dude who run 4.7, I mean,
Bro, he's pissed. He's
we're-
like, damn, I could have had Tony for 1 year. Oh,
could
man.
have 1 year. He would have went back
Damn.
and had Malachi Tony.
They would have won the
I'm just
Natty.
saying, but no. But so I'm at a 1 because after Fernando, Ty Simpson, he's short. Trinidad's short. Trinidad's only bumped up because Dante Moore went back. Carson Beck is going to get pushed up now. Everyone's going to get pushed up because one guy went back to school. That's how bad this class is. Like him going back to school has changed all mock drafts. You got Caleb
True.
Downs going.
You're right.
It's
You're right.
pushed everybody up. Why? Because they needed the quarterback to come out because the quarterback class isn't good. That's why we sat there and was like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh will trade up for Todd Simpson. No, they won't. Why? He's a 6-foot quarterback. The class is just not good. Like on paper, a year ago, this class was good. It was like, oh man, this is an outstanding class. Time comes, this class sucks. Sucks.
Damn.
Damn, man. I'm just, this
Drew
feeds our
Aller.
families, right? We got to pretend the draft's good, kind of. We got to
Drew Aller,
we got to hype
Drew
this
Aller
thing up like
hurt.
it's a blow the
Klubnik,
balloon up.
RPO heavy, Nassmeyer turnover machine.
Whoa. Bro, we gotta do a top 10
Everyone's
quarterbacks
catching
video at
strays.
some point, man. Relax.
I know. I'm just throwing out the names that were popular that were supposed to make this class good. They aren't making this class good. They made it weak. That's why I'm on the side of 1. Their play declined. Now, for Fernando, class of his own. But it's not like the running back group where it's there and then it's like a lot of good talent. It's a lot of question marks like, well, he needs this system, this amount of years. Fernando, plug and play. Cool. Everybody else, you just don't know. One, we don't know how big Todd Simpson's going to be. We don't know how big his hand's going to be. We don't know how big Trinidad's going to be. We don't know if they can play in cold weather. It's so many factors when you talk about teams that need quarterback. Unless they all go to warm weather teams, which they won't, it's so many question marks.
I agree that the depth is absolutely atrocious. And I like Ty Simpson's play, but he is undersized and it's going to be hard in the NFL. But can we agree it can get worse than this? We have Fernando.
Yeah.
22. 22.
2022, right.
Yeah, it can get worse than this. So that's the only reason I'm holding out for C. But if we're aligned that it's D, we can go there.
I mean, you kind of said it right there. The only reason why it's a 2 for me is that 2022 exists, where Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick, and Malik Willis, and we'll see what Malik does the rest of his career, but he was a day 2 pick. This year, I think Fernando is a really good quality quarterback prospect that in a lot of years would go kind of middle to late first round, but this year, because it's a weaker class, he's going to get bumped up to number 1. It's kind of like what some people thought about Carson Beck for that, in 2023, where it was like he's probably the best of kind of an average group. I think Ty Simpson's good. He's just short. Outside of that, he's a good player. He just didn't have any help at Alabama. I agree. There's not a ton of depth here, but it could be worse. It could be 2022. To me, that's why there's 1 first-round guy, possibly 2 first-round guys, and then there's a number of guys who are going to be serviceable backups. So that's why, for me, I just have a hard time putting it at 1, when I think there's enough depth here to be you're going to see probably, 5 of these guys get actual snaps out there.
Okay,
that's just
but
my
then,
personal perspective.
But then you talk about 24 when it was 5 in the first round. You talk about
that was 5.
That was a 5.
But I'm saying, all 5 of those guys will go before him this year.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not. Well, I'm not
taking McCarthy over Fernando.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was not a McCarthy guy, but I mean I see your point. I'm not disagreeing with you. But
that
that class was generational.
I'm just saying.
That was a generational class. This class is.
I'm just saying, it got
no position is generational.
Outside of one guy, everyone else is you're just holding your breath and kind of just seeing.
But there is that one guy.
And then we don't know what he's going to do, especially in Vegas. Let's put that out there.
Well,
true,
but we're looking at the player, not where the location might be.
Right, 100%.
And we're keeping it a buck. We're talking about the NFL draft. 30% of these guys are going to get to their second contract pretty much. I know it's not actually that difficult, but it is an absolute shit show on who actually sticks out of the draft. So if we're being honest, it should be all D, C, and B. But
dude, this is a class that has the Heisman winner and one of the Heisman runner-ups in Diego Pavia.
Short quarterbacks and
it's a D now. Just because you said that, we're
just,
going quarterback.
Just because you wanted Pavia. He's 5'9". You talked yourself down that rabbit hole because you know what? I was about to say, you know what? What you said, you know what? It is the Heisman. He's been probably one of the more consistent players all year. I was going, you know what? I'm good with a C. You brought up Pavia. I didn't have to say nothing. Kay did it for me. You did that to yourself. I can't believe you. You could have brought up any other quarterback in the country.
I don't know what you guys are talking. I think Pavia has day 1 starter upside. That's just
in Canada.
I'm talking about the XFL.
In Toronto.
Bro, he'll be great at Canada.
All right. Whatever.
Hands might be too small, but
that was a healthy conversation between us 3, and we got there. Metro made the final great point to punch quarterback home into the D tier at 1. Next up, we got middle linebacker. This one will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Ooh. Folks, give me your number in 3, 2, and 1.
Are we including Arvell? Are we including Arvell?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, then 4. Yeah.
We got B. Ross, Metro, and myself. It's a Wendy's 4 for 4. We're all going to the A tier with middle linebacker. So I'm throwing him in here, and now we're going to talk about it. B. Ross headed the conversation last time for the quarterback. So Metro, you lead this one off. Hey you, if you've watched this far in the video, you must be enjoying the content. We appreciate you spending your time with us today. Go subscribe down below for more awesome content just like this. Thank you very much. Let's get back into the video.
This class is really close to being a 5 for me. The only issue with this class is after you get the Lawson, Anthony Hill, Golday, Trotter mix, you then kind of have a bit of a step down where it's Torian York's a really good football player. He's 5'10". He's tiny. He can't get off blocks. He's not going to be he's going to have a hard time with that size. And then Jacob Rodriguez, such a great year, a lot of productivity, but man, he's got some real flaws to his game that's can he translate that over? Even if you like York and Rodriguez, after those two, it is, Harold Perkins, who's built more like a safety than a linebacker. Aiden Fisher's a decent player. There's some names here, but I don't know if there's any there's depth pieces, right? But the top of this class is really good. Arvell Reese might be the number 2 pick. And from a linebacker position, that's awesome. Sonny Styles will be a day 1 pick. I think C.J. Allen could be a day 1 pick, probably more day 2, but he has a chance. Anthony Hill is a day 2 pick. Jake Golday's day 2. Lawson, Trotter. The top is really good. It thins out really quickly, though, after the Trotter, Lawson, Anthony, those sort of guys go off the board. So that's what keeps it from a 5, but I'm closer to a 5 than I am a 3 on this class.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Like, when you look at this class, like, in your top 10, you're really happy about that group. And then it's like after that, it goes to undersized or slow or stiff in coverage, or like they have very visible flaws in their game. But top to bottom, top 10, this is a really good group. I'm with you, Metro. Like I almost put up 5, but I just don't think they have as many day 1 picks or day 2 picks as the edge group. But that's also because you have 2 guys on the edge and not, all that stuff, just the nature of the sport. But this is a very talented group with some blue chip players in Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, like, who have size, speed, who have everything you can ask for. So that's why I was at 4. But I was very close to giving them a 5. But then when you look at the depth after those first 10 guys, it's kind of just like, I don't know. Couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger.
I echo what you'll say. Anytime this is scared. Anytime you got Arvell Reese, a guy like that, in your top 5 prospects, it's going to be a nice class. Middle linebacker is going to stick at A tier for us on the board. Next up, we got cornerback. It's a no-fly zone. Folks, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. 5 from B. Ross, 4 from Metro, 4 from myself. B. Ross, you're on the island. Open it up. You're a cornerback in the NFL, just to be clear, in the NFL, because you were like that. You were like that back in the day, and you still are. So talk to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This group is deep. And now
Very, very
what it
deep.
all boils down to and why I just decided to give them a 5 is because it really just depends on flavor, what you like. Do you like the more instinctive guy? Do you like the guy who just plays, kind of lock up, plays man, but has very little ball production? Do you like the zone corner who likes to see everything? It's all based on preference after probably your first 2 or 3 guys. And then Jamar McCoy is the wild card.
Yep, that's why he's a 4.
Because if let's say he comes back and he's not what he was, I still think he's going to be a good player. I just don't think he's going to be like the all-pro, Pro Bowl type if he doesn't come back, 100% healthy or whatever the case may be. But with that being said, I think it's some hidden gems in this group that are going to be a lot better than where they're drafted. They're going to outplay their draft position. That's why I gave them a 5, because I know only so many corners are going to go in the first round. Only so many are going to go in the top 50. From 50 down, there's going to be some good players who are going to be pissed that they even went that late, and they're going to outperform. That's why I gave them a 5 and not a 4, because guys like Hezekiah Massis, guys like Chris Johnson, Keith Abney, like they're talented players. They won't go as high as they should because of other positions and needs and all that stuff. So when they outperform, people are going to say, oh, it's great value. When all the meanwhile, they were that good coming out of school.
My turn. Beers, I have a question.
You,
I don't know if you have your big board on you. How many corners do you have in your top 100? And while you find that number out, this class for me is really close to being a 5, because I do agree this class has some depth to it. I think there's a number of really good prospects in this year's class. If Jermod is healthy, goes through the combine process, looks good, I can see this one being bumped up to a 5. Because if a healthy Jermod McCoy, if he comes out after last year's, he's a top pick. And I think he is a top 15 pick. I think Mansour Delane's a top 15 pick. I think we'll see one of Colton Hood, Avion Terrell, Keith Abney, Chris Johnson, 1 or 2 of those guys be first-round picks too. But then on day 2, it's a really solid class there as well. Guys like Julian Neal, Keontae Scott, Cisse, Colton Hood if he's in day 2 pick, Malik Muhammad. I even like guys like Devin Moore, Davison Igbinosun. You talk about Hezekiah Massis. I like him quite a bit too. There's a ton of variety here, and there's also position variety as well. There's some nickels, there's some outside guys, there's some guys that can play both. You have all sorts of sizes here, like D'Angelo Ponce is 5'9", and then you have a 6'2" Traden Stukes, a 6'3" Devin Moore. Like there's a lot of size variation to this class. B-Rush, do you have your number? I'm very
15.
interested to hear. I have 15
Let's
as well.
go.
15.
I have 15 as well. That's cool.
Like I was just like, yeah, and like even the 15 I have, like to your point, like the different body types determine, kind of where they are, play style,
Yeah.
body type, and just kind of what I like. That's why I'm just like, yeah, like he has to be in. Like I kick out so many other guys. I'm like, this dude's going to be really good. So no, I had to put him at 5. And because you called me out, said I was scared. What? Oh, never scared.
Never scared. Never, ever. Next up, we got defensive interior. We're going to rank it from 5 to 1. Folks, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. We got a 3 from Metro, a 4 from B. Ross, and a 3 from myself.
Actually,
B. Ross, I'll let you open.
I'll do 4.
Oh.
I'll do 4. Sorry.
Wendy's 4 for 4 for Metro as well. I'm on an island. So I guess I'll talk for this one and then hand it off to y'all. We're talking about the interior of the defensive line. There's some damn good players here, guys. I'm huge on Caleb Banks. Nobody really likes him because he didn't even play this year, but I understand the talent is definitely there. Peter Woods is probably the unanimous top guy in this class, and even that, he didn't have a great 2025 season. We've seen him do better in past years. I think Darrell Jackson Jr. is a ton of talent. I know that people are massive on Caden McDonald. Overall, I think the top cream of the crop of this class when it comes to the interior and the defense has question marks. And typically you see at least one guy that is tried and true, ready to go in the first round. I don't feel great about picking anybody in the first round this year, besides, of course, Caleb Banks. But handing it off to y'all, I'm a 6'6" man for that one weird player. So, Metro, I'll let you open. I'll let B. Ross follow.
I had it at 3, and then I kind of included some other names here too. I consider Keldrick Falk more of an interior guy in a 3-4, and I also
That's
consider
what I did.
LT Overton as an interior piece in a 3-4. So that's why it boosts me up to a 4 on this one. Because if you think Keldrick plays on the outside, and same with LT, probably a bit more like a 3. But with those guys being involved in my list, I like them a lot inside. So I think it has the high-end talent with the Peter Woods. If you include Keldrick, if you include LT Overton, I think LT is a pretty underrated player, especially against the run. Not much as a pass rusher, but good against the run as a day 2 pick. Lee Hunter's good. Christian Miller's good. We'll see about Caleb Banks, what he looks like. He's at the Senior Bowl, correct? We'll see him at the Senior Bowl, so we might get a better idea as to how he's moving. And there's some really good athletes in here too, right? Dante Corleone, Skylar Gill-Howard. I think Tim Keenan's a talented player. You talked about Darrell Jackson. There's some decent depth in this class. Just a lot of like underrated players that we don't give a lot of shine to because they do a lot of the dirty work. But there's a number of really solid players that can play a role. And I like the fact that there is big dudes that can stuff the run. And then occasionally you'll get a Skylar Gill-Howard who's more of your pure pass rusher. So I like this class. I think there's talent here. And a lot of upside players here as well.
Yeah. So I gave him a 4 because I did the same thing. I included Overton. I included Falk because I see them as more interior D linemen than true edge guys. So that was my thought, behind the 4. And then when you look at the group, to your point, Metro, like this is a good versatile kind of group. Like you have your big body run stuffers who, if that's all they do for 12 years, they're going to be really good at it. Doesn't matter. They'll have 1 year of 7-8 sacks, but they're going to make their hay and make their money at saying that you have to put 2 people on me and my linebackers are going to get paid a lot more to make a bunch of tackles behind the line because I eat up gaps. So, and then to your point, like they have, guys who can win on edges, who are quick, who can rush the passer in a more finesse or power kind of way. And it's just so many different body types, and D tackle isn't a position that usually goes first round. Like that's not common as we think. It's really not. Like you have a handful of guys and a handful of teams who will go after a guy because they fit a system. But when you just talk about just, good players, Peter Woods is a really good player. He's just a really good player no matter what system you put him in. Whereas Caleb Banks might be more of a fit, still a good player in his own right. I just think when you look at it top to bottom, they have a lot more depth than the tight end group. And they're big, like big humans. Even Caleb Banks coming back from injury, I'm less worried about. He doesn't have to run. His knees and hips have to be strong enough to hold himself up, to hold that weight. The recovery is different. And then when you throw in Keldrick Falk, you throw in Overton, guys who can rush the passer, who played outside and inside. I just think this group is more A tier. They just aren't appreciated because they're big, and no one sees them.
If we throw in Falk, I'm all for A tier, no question. And I do agree that they have more depth in the tight end and guard class. Do we put him over backer? I'd probably put him under personally, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts.
I'd put under.
Under, yeah. They aren't as
Cool.
talented
It's
as the
close,
backer
though.
group.
Yeah,
Let's
it's really
go.
close, though.
Interior defensive line goes in A tier. Next up, we got the safety position. B. Ross also played safety in the NFL. Here we go, folks. In 3, 2, and 1. We got a 5 from Metro, a 3 from B. Ross, and a 4 from myself. We are all over the place. Hey, NFL DB, how about you open this one?
Yeah, I'm extremely hard on them. Just because I've done it, and I know that they are undervalued when you talk about like the draft. Caleb Downs, my favorite player by far, bar none. He's going to be a top 5 pick. It's probably why this probably should be a 4. Now that I think about it out loud, because at safety they're going to have a top 5 pick. But then again, it's the drop off, much like the running back group. It's just a drop off. Now, granted, again, it's good talent. It's good day 2 talent. There are no more day 1 picks. It's just one. He's the only one. That's signed, sealed, delivered. I'm willing to bet the house on that one because that's just usually how it plays out. And then when you look at the rest of the group, it's more so just flavor. Like, who do you like? How they play? How do you plan on using them? Ball production, like it's a lot more potential and upside than it is just true just ballers. Like, they're ballers in college. The NFL is going to be totally different for a lot of these guys because they aren't going to be the best athlete on the field, and they're going to have huge adjustments to make. But it's a talented group. I just think it's capped. I don't think it's a top 10. I think it's 7. It's 7. I feel comfortable really drafting in the first 100 picks. After that, you're going off potential, upside, scheme. Like it has to be very specific. That's why it kind of held me back from putting him higher. But I will put him at a 4 because Caleb Downs is going to be a top 5 pick.
Metro, you got him at 5. Open it up, baby. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think safety is a position where you very rarely see a first-round pick, let alone a top 10 pick. And Caleb Downs could be the number 2 pick. He's probably, you can make the argument, the best player in this class. It's him, Jeremiah Love, and Bain/Arvell. Downs is probably one of the more proven guys in this class. He's a top 5 pick, in my opinion. I also think A.J. Hollister is really good. The reason why I don't think there's any more guys that will go day 2 is just positional value. I think Hollister is talented enough to be early day 2, but he might fall to like mid day 2 or even late day 2 because he's a safety, right? I think A.J. Hollister's good. I think Emmanuel McNeil-Warren's good. I think Kamari as a pure safety is really good. He also can play a bit in the nickel as well. Dylan Thieneman, really solid player. Zakee Wheatley, Genesis. Kilgore, I think, has all the talent in the world to be great. And I think Lewis Moore is a really solid player, too. And the kid from Notre Dame is also good. So I think there's just a number of really talented and quality football players that, safety is a position where it's like you have to have your kind of flavor, like what you're looking for. If you're looking for, somebody to be your, I'm blanking on his name, the kid from South Carolina, the safety last year, who's now in Seattle.
Nicky Manwari. He was nuts.
Yeah, if you're looking for your Nicky Manwari or your, I'm blanking on his name too, the Notre Dame guy that went to Baltimore. No, he went to Baltimore. Notre Dame.
Kyle Hamilton.
Tall, lengthy. Yes. If you're looking for a Kyle Hamilton, if you're looking for a Nicky Manwari, this class doesn't really have that. Maybe you could transform Warren/Kilgore into that, but what this class does have is a number of guys that can play multiple roles for your team. It has the upper echelon talent, and again, it's a safety position, so I'm going to boost it up a little bit because we typically don't see these classes have this much depth and talent, and I think there's probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 guys that could be day 1, day 2 picks if they prioritize the safety position, because I think there's a ton of talent in this room. That's why it gets a 5 for me. Because it's the safety class. I think there is that high-end talent. I think there's enough depth and variety there to see multiple guys go early.
So we're stretched thin. We got 2 4s or like a 3 4 and a 5. So we're going to land somewhere in 4 by consensus. But where do we
4.
rank them? Do we rank them ahead of linebacker, ahead of cornerback, or ahead of D tackle, or last here in A tier?
I think I'll put them at the top because they have the best player.
I'd have to agree. That is really, this guy's smart, man. That is really well said, B. Ross. They got the best player at that position. I'm aligned. Is that approved, Metro?
Sounds good.
Hell yeah. Strong or just in general? Safety goes in the A tier. Next, we got wide receiver to cap this whole bad boy off. Folks, let's end it on a bang. This is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to hearing some arguing here. So get your takes hot in let's do this. 3, 2, and 1. 5, 4, and 3 from myself. 5 from B Ross. 4 from Metro. Woo-wee. B Ross, my man. I love it, man. Actually, you know what? Since we're so different, I'm gonna let Metro, the man in the middle, take it away. Metro.
Yeah, I think this class is good, man. I think now, if Tyson's medical stuff does not work out, that could drop this one down a little bit. I think Tyson should be fine. You got Tyson. I think people are really in love with Carnell Tate. I think Tate's a good prospect. I do think there's a bit of a difference between a healthy Tyson and a Carnell Tate. I think Carnell is a very, very great number 2 option and a serviceable number 1 option, which is why that kind of keeps me from being in that 5 tier for me, because if he was a true number 1, which I think he can be, but if he was a true number 1 that was great, this might be a 5 for me. I think this class is solid. I think there's a lot of really good depth in this class too. I like Tyson. I like Tate. I like Mackay. I think Boston has wide receiver 1/2 potential. KC's more of a 2. Bernard's more of a 2. Surratt's more of a 2. I like Chris Bell's upside. I think Cooper's a good player too. And I think there's a number of really good players. For me, once you get past the Chris Bell, Surratt, Omar Cooper range, you get a lot of guys here that are good and can serve a role, but I just feel like they're very gadgety sort of players. For example, like Deion Burks, I love his speed. I love the fact that he's a playmaker. He's tiny, and I just don't see that game translating well over to the NFL. Same with Zachariah Branch. And then there's a number of just, bodies. I like Eric McAllister. I think he can be good. I think he's a 4 that could develop into being a 3. So I don't know. I'm at a 4 with this one because I could see it being a 5 if you really believe in the high-end talent here, especially Carnell Tate, because I'm a bit more pessimistic on what Tate is in the NFL in terms of I think he's a great number 2 and just an okay number 1. That's why, for me, I'm at a 4 with this class. But I think a healthy Tyson is a really, really good player.
Awesome. B. Ross, you had a 5. The floor is yours.
This class is top-heavy, but it's top-heavy proven throughout multiple years, and it's proven that these guys haven't gotten better each year. Jordan Tyson started at Colorado, not on the good team, got better each and every year. Same with Mackay, same with Carnell Tate, and Tate had to wait his turn. And, he still had to wait his turn because he was with a guy who was better than him. You know what I mean? But he proved that he can do it. Then you got Boston, Concepcion, Surratt. All of those guys potentially can go in round 1 depending on when the run at receiver starts. Because once it starts, it's always a run at one position. It always happens. Once someone goes two positions of this, or 2 receivers go, it'll be 2 or 3 more within the next 4 or 5 picks. That's just usually how it happens because teams don't want to miss on their guy. With that being said, you go to the second wave of these guys, and Chris Bell's coming off an injury. He's still going to be a top 100 pick. That's scary. That's how good he is. That's how good Tyson is. Tyson's not falling out the first round. All the medical concerns, still gonna be a first round pick. That's why I'm optimistic, because I'm like, so you telling me this dude is this good, where he can have 2 flat tires, and they're like, yeah, screw it. We'll put some tape over the holes and bandage them up and let's roll. And then you got Concepcion, CJ Daniels. You got so many different body types. That's why I think when you look at the depth of this class, it works in teams' favor. Now you can just go get kind of your flavor. I need size in Baltimore. You got plenty of that. I need speed and, Yak and San Fran. It's plenty of that. So you can go and kind of get what you need. Like, you don't lack for anything in this class. That's why I gave him a 5. I think you can kind of get what you want this year and not have to go and reach for a guy. You can go get exactly what you want to fit your system.
I love it. To cap this off, I think there's 5 receivers in this class that just bar none can be first-round picks without a doubt. Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, KC Concepcion, and Denzel Boston. That's rare. Having that many wide receivers go in the first is very special. Day 2, I see a couple of guys, but it kind of falls off a cliff for me. We got injury concerns. We don't have complete profiles. We see older guys, younger guys. Not younger guys, but it's kind of a mess is my point. There's typically more depth in this. That's why I went 3, but the first 5 are ridiculous. And just based off the flat tire analogy alone, B. Ross, I'm at a 4 now. I'm fired up and in on this class.
All
So
right.
are
Put
we
him at a
game to
4?
go with a 4 and argue where it would be within tier A?
Well, if it's
I'd put it
A,
in front of D tackle personally, and I'd put it in the middle actually, in front of middle linebacker as well.
yeah, under corners.
Let's go. Folks, we did it. Look at us. This is our tier list for every single position in the 2026 NFL Draft. Let's go from elite tier all the way down to D tier. Elite tier, we got the edge group with that insane depth. A tier, we got safety, cornerback, wide receiver, middle linebacker, including Arvell Reese, and then D tackle, including Keldrick Falk and LT Overton. B tier, we got guard and tight end. C, halfback, aka running back, and tackles. D, quarterback, and centers. Folks, we want you to comment down below what your thoughts are. Put your tiers down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate y'all more than you know. We're on the road to 1K, 2K, and it starts with you guys. We just hit 1K. Thank you very much. Signing off for Metro, B. Ross, and myself. Love you guys. This time, B. Ross, get us out of here.
Hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your wives, tell your girlfriend. 1st and 10, we're here on the road to 2K. Peace.